Hello, and here I am. This is the video equivalent of I haven't seen my friend in a really long time, and I want to visit with them, but my house is a mess, and I'm not quite prepared, but the opportunity presented itself, so here I am. It's been a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really out of practice. I know I say this all the time, but I go so long between videos. Yeah, this is what it is. Okay, so I don't know. Do we want to do a little catch up? See what I've been up to? Does anybody care? Okay, I will take that as a yes. All right. So I've been laying low. I've been obviously, I haven't posted anything on YouTube, and I've also been I had been pretty quiet on my social media as well, like Instagram, and it was good. It was really, really good. I started out this year as a depth year, focus year. Maybe I could start with a little update on how that's going. My word of the year is boundaries, and I've been working really hard at maintaining my boundaries, exercising my right to have boundaries. What else? Yeah. Create more and consume less. In terms of creating, I have been creating. It's been some low level creating, it's some crafts here and there. I've been working in my grimoire, not recently, but oh no, that's not true. Recently I have. I've been working on a fiber craft. That I have right here. I don't know. The lighting is really shitty. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm working on this. It's going to be a shawl. I like this yarn. Looks like tree bark, or rather, the stitch in that yarn looks like tree bark. Recently, I've been getting back into nature, reconnecting with nature. I actually, I really needed that. I really, really needed that. The whole deck madness, accumulating a whole bunch of decks and stuff like that, really drew my attention to the fact that I was seeking, and a lot of us have been doing this, I was seeking a connection with, say, nature through fucking pictures on cards, when all I needed to do was go outside. It sounds obvious, but when you're in a state where you're feeling listless, you're feeling disconnected, you're too much inside your own head, and not enough inside your body, that's what happens. Also, taking in a lot of, I know this is going to sound really ironic coming from me in a video, but it did me a lot of good to stop taking in content from the internet. I turned away from being a spectator in other people's lives in craft, and focusing inward on my own life, my own craft, my own art, and that has been the best medicine for me. I find that I think I've mentioned in other videos, it's Instagram to me has become just insupportable. You know what I mean? It's I don't even know if there's an English word for that. It's just um, like to really get that context, because it's a whole bunch of content that's put out there, all about the aesthetic. Okay, let's talk. First of all, there's there's a niche subject matter that I'm interested in. Of course, I'm interested in witchcraft, folk magics, sorcery, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the content that I was seeing, because I've taken a huge step back, was a lot of performance art, and there's place for that. But that's not what I needed, and it cheapened it for me. It cheapened the influx of suddenly all that witchcraft content. Most of it is about aesthetics. There's very little content out there that's substance. I know because I'm subscribed to and follow creators of content of substance, and that's really quieted down my subscription list and my follow list and all that stuff. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that that content is out there, that there's like-minded people that are creating content that is of interest to me, where I learn something, where my ideas are challenged. I'm entertained. So that's where I am right now. That all started with ironically enough, it started with that tarot retro thing, or retro tarot, or tarot throwback thing, where I just used decks I had in 1997 for tarot. And it's like it was a palate cleanser. It brought me back to basics. Right now I'm currently going to be redoing my area here, where I'm going to be going through my stuff, like my supplies, my tools, and just keeping what I absolutely need. At this stage in the game, it's years that I don't utilize a lot of things for my craft. I don't have a lot of props. I don't do a lot of physical workings, like making stuff. So I still do sometimes, but that's not where my craft is at this time. I'm sorry, I have to have a guess it's a late afternoon tea with G. So yeah, I'm just rambling now. All right. So this whole laying low and turning my gaze inward allowed me to evaluate my own craft, evaluate my own spirituality, focus on what's important to me. A lot of it, of course, ties into what do I use, and what do I need, and where are my interests right now. So there's been quite a lot of that going on with me personally, and it could be I'm thinking some of it is astrological, because I know a lot of I don't know a lot of other people. No, I misspeak. I have friends who are going through the same kind of transition in terms of how they're practicing their craft, how they're what they're surrounding themselves with. And it kind of ties into what I want to talk about today. I'm very fortunate. I was doxxed years and years ago. I was doxxed years and years ago by someone who's no longer living. But they were alive at the time, obviously. And since then, I've lived a very public. I've lived my craft very publicly. I go by my name, and I've been on the internet a really, really long time. But I'm very sensitive and very appreciative of the fact that there's a lot of people who, for their personal safety, because of the relationships in their lives, because of lack of support, or whatever reason, their professional life, their family life, they cannot live their craft publicly out there, like, for everybody to see. And even I'm pretty, like, I realize, those of you who've been following me for a long time, it's not like it's pretty obvious what even I do, but a little more than someone who cannot be openly who they are, right? So I made up a list of practicing your craft, having a connection to your spirituality, to your magic, day to day, but hiding in plain sight. And this would apply to anybody, right? This is if you need to hide, if you prefer to hide, like, or if you not hide, but you know what I mean. If you prefer to be more private about your practice, if you live with people that wouldn't tolerate your house looking like a metaphysical shop. I don't tolerate my house looking like a metaphysical shop, but some people are into that aesthetic, and that's their business. So, hiding in plain sight. I made a list, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Finally, 12 minutes in. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm talking about this in this video, but I will be sharing some items that I am really, really loving that I got in the last few months. But those will be separate videos, and they'll be the top-down kind of video, so you can get a good look at what they are. So let's begin. Hiding in plain sight. So I think I've already mentioned where you can literally have a journal where instead of having an altar out on the surface, you can literally, I shared with you in a previous video, where you can create an altar in a book. You can have multiple altars in a book. Let me find one to share with you. Oh, I don't want to show you the same stuff all the time, right? Oh my god. Sorry. Who was that? I'm sorry. I'm like out of practice. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to share some ideas. I really should have been more prepared. Oh my god. That's my dog groaning. My dog is not impressed. Okay, I really just wanted to share with you guys. I really should have bookmarked it. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. All right. So, okay. I'm almost there. Here it is. This is, so, can you see? Can you see? Okay. So this is an altar to St. Francis. So basically I got this off the internet. I printed it up and I glued it into my book. I did a little embellishment there and voila. there's an altar to St. Francis. So I have multiple altars in this book. One, because for me personally, and this is why I say this is like something that the stuff I'm going to share today is for anybody. It's not just for people who need to hide, right? Or need to keep their need to be discreet. Hide. Why do I keep saying hide? Because I titled the freaking list "Hiding in Plain Sight." That's why. But this is for like people who want to maintain a discreet practice. So this book has multiple altars in it. And it's a 2-page spread, and it's a 2-page spread dedicated to a spirit, a saint, deity, whatever it is that you want to dedicate it to. You can even make it just plain. Oh my God, let's see if I can actually do this. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I really should have just bookmarked everything. Let me see if it just opens up. Oh, here it is. Look, this is just a nice surface to work on. Or to do working on. And you don't need stuff. But okay, let me continue. So it could be a book. It could be a binder. Binders are cool. Like a trapper keeper kind of binder or something like that, where you can, because you just open it up, you can move things around, you can add new things, you could change the order of things, you can reorganize your stuff. So a binder might be an option for some of you. Writing in your grimoire, book of shadows, whatever you want to call it. If you can write in a different language. If you know another language, why not? If you know another language, and generally the people around you don't know that language, you can write in that language, and it doesn't have to be perfect because it's just for you, right? So you can write that. Like if you speak a Slavic language, and maybe you learned it as a child or whatever, and now it's like really rusty. It doesn't matter. Write it phonetically, do whatever. It's like for you, and this way you could feel like you're kind of not really exposed because you're writing in this other language. Some people create their own languages. I have a friend who created their own language to write in their book. So that's one way of doing it. Ideas for books. So you have binder, you have a journal that you could get. You could go thrifting and find a beautiful hardcover book of some whatever freaking subject it is, doesn't matter, where you could tear out all the pages and turn that into your book by then gluing in, or there's tons of people on the internet with DIYs on how to do that, where you could take like all those people that do junk journals and stuff like that. Well, you could take that idea and create your grimoire, your book of all your book where you have your altars in there and everything like that. And it's really personalized. You get to exercise your creativity, and creativity is very important. Creativity is paramount. It's crucial when it comes to magical work and connecting with spirits and stuff like that, because you're utilizing the same part of the brain. So you're exercising the part of the brain when you're being creative, the imagination part of the brain, the part of the brain where your imagination lives, is the muscle that you want to exercise, because that's where your intuition, that's where your connection to spirit, that's the part of the brain that connects you to all that. That's part of the function. Okay, I don't want to turn this into like a metaphysical anatomy and physiology course, but you get my drift, I hope. Then in my previous video, I showed you how to take a regular deck of playing cards and turn it into a tarot. I did see there were some comments. Someone had said, "Oh, it looks like this indie deck that someone made," and no, that's not the point. The point is where you take a deck of playing cards. You either use them to read as playing cards, or if you want a tarot, you can take 2 decks, combine them, and make a tarot. Did I even ever show you? Oh my gosh. I never showed you because it's been ages since I recorded a video. So that deck evolved. I went a little crazy with it. So let me show you what I did. So for Major Arcana, I did some art. Here's one of my favorites, the Tower. I don't know if it's a little out of focus. Sorry. What else can I show you? And then others, just plain and simple. I just used the Queen of Spades here and made it the Lover's card for the Major Arcana, the Emperor. Now, for those of you watching that read playing cards, cartomancy, like playing cards and stuff like that, I didn't combine the two because I don't like to combine the two, cartomancy meanings and tarot meanings are not exactly the same thing. There's some overlap, but not for me, not the way I learned, right? So I kept this as straight, just pretending it's, just labeling it so it's a 6 of Cups. Also, the suits, I stayed with, with the suits the way I had selected them. Cups, hearts, diamonds, pentacles, spades, swords, and clubs. Wands, because of what they're called in Italian. For me, it connected, right? So spade is spade, sword, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I just wanted to share. And some of them I just went a little crazy. Let me find some Major Arcana. Oh, look, the moon. I didn't go too crazy, but and I just wanted to show you. Oh, this one I went a little crazy. I went a little new wave, a little punk rock with this one. So yeah, so playing cards where you can make your own tarot deck, and it just looks like playing cards. And I mixed 2 different colored backs. This was a Path in the Woods, Natalia's suggestion of using 2 different colored backs, and I love it because I could then pull out the Major Arcana easily. Anyway, so that was a lot of time spent on that. Sorry. Oracle decks. So you want to have an Oracle deck and you don't want to have something mass market, or something that is marketed as an oracle deck. There's so many things you could use. I don't have it with me here, and I will share with it. I think I'll do a video where I share some of my favorite stuff, right? Like I said. But I got a set of 100 postcards, Cicely Barker, fairies, flower fairies. Postcards. I rounded the corners and I used that as both a fairy and a plant oracle deck, and I think it's really charming. It's pretty, and it just looks like a freaking postcard with rounded corners. The 100 postcards with rounded corners. Brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just went looking one day because I had a hard time finding the right kind of oracle decks for me, and that one really was just because I have her book. I have some books with Cicely Barker's Mary Cicely Barker's art in it. I I went looking to see, I wonder if there's postcards, and yay, right? Or I think I was looking for another book or something. But yeah. Herbal information cards. Those are all over the place. You could easily find those, like, on bookseller websites, and that you can use as an oracle. And then you could look up the meaning of the magical meaning of the herbs and the correspondences and all that on the internet. So this is also like witchcraft on the cheap, people. Very basic. This is where the just like I told you that the tarot throwback challenge for me brought me back to basics, brought my attention away, or redirected my attention from decks back to tarot. This is to take the attention off, take your attention away from stuff and back into your magic. A book for bibliomancy. Freaking love that stuff. I have a few books I use for bibliomancy. I love them. I think they're great. You could just carry your favorite novel or whatever around with you, and when you need some inspiration, when you need to receive a message from your spirit court, when you need to consult with your spirit court, you pull out that book, you just flip through it and you read it. It's elegant and it's discreet. For other forms of divination, Scrabble tiles, board games. Whenever I see board games, for me it's the same thing as seeing divination tools. Always, always, always. So, look, sometimes go to thrift, go through the board games, see if something inspires you. You can take some Scrabble tiles and turn them into runes. I like that one. Your sacred space. No, I gotta tell you, I really appreciate the need for sacred space. I'm an introvert. I need to recharge. I need to be in a space that there's no input. There's no sensory input. Sometimes I get overstimulated, and I really need somewhere that could be that has a nice calming energy, and that I consider to be my sacred space. And this could be indoors, outdoors. Your sacred space could be on your porch. Your favorite chair on your porch year-round. No matter what the weather, when you need to have your space, you go out there, and even in the cold. But see, I like the cold, so. So that could be outdoors. Indoors, it could be a reading nook. It could be your closet. Someone I love has the best closet I've ever seen in my life. She has windows in her closet. That's her sacred space. Goals, people. Hashtag goals. All right. Let me see what else I have over here. So indoors, outdoors. Although I have been toying with making my walk-in closet into a sacred space, but I don't think that's going to happen. I like the idea of being able to pack up my stuff and take it with me somewhere, and then unpack my stuff and just spend time with it. It harkens back to a time like if you were into Barbie and stuff like that, or any kind of any kind of toy when you were a child, where you had action figures. See, like, this is like not even a gender thing, right? It's like action figures or whatever, where you had your bag or your box of action figures, and then you opened them up and you did your thing with them, right? A sewing box. You could take a sewing box and transform it into where you keep all your sacred things, all your meaningful things. Um, and then you open it up and you have like all the stuff that assists you in connecting to spirit. So I like the sewing box idea, a caboodle, uh, a witchy caboodle. Uh, setting setting the not the tone, setting the environment, right? The sacred space. What you could do is that you can use your laptop and fire up videos. There's these channels that all they have is ambience, right? Fireplace, rain in the forest is my favorite. You can dolls, stuffies, teddy bears, whatever you have. I think I did a video. I think it's probably a couple of years now. If you look it up on my channel, where I talked about the Raggedy Ann doll, where I found it at thrift, and it looked like a homemade one that someone tried to make, and it was like in really, really bad shape. And I washed everything. I opened it up. I stuffed it with protection herbs and stones and whatever I needed to put in there to make it a puppet for magic. So you could stash your stuff in a favorite teddy bear. Stash your magic. Make your favorite teddy bear magic. You can have all kinds of figurines and of animals and people or whatever stand in for your deity, your spirit court, your saints. If seriously, especially for me, I use a lot of animal figurines. So I just look like the crazy lady that collects a lot of animal figurines. Trinket boxes. Trinket boxes are excellent. They just look like decor. They're innocuous, and you can use them as wish boxes, spell boxes, manifestation boxes, magical items that you can have that don't attract too much attention is a favorite rock. A rock that you cleansed, charged, and you use for connection to spirit, or you use for your craft. Water, plain water. A candle. It doesn't have to be a chime candle rolled in herbs and on a pentacle for it to be magical. Honest to God, people, you go to Dollar Tree, you buy yourself one of those mason jar candles. Do your magical thing, and it's innocuous, and it's a spell. It's a magical item. I use those all the time. Feathers. What else I have here? Prayer beads. You can have prayer beads. So you can have rosary beads. You could go thrifting and find a beaded necklace that you find attractive and speaks to you, and that could be a prayer. That could be your prayer beads. I have one that's like this. I know I could have like brought stuff and had props. I wasn't prepared. It didn't occur to me, but I have like this necklace that I got at thrift, and it's got these beads. It's just a beaded necklace. It's nothing. It's just a beaded necklace, really, like from costume jewelry that I use as prayer beads. So now let's look. The next thing I have here is incense and oils. You could use essential oils in a diffuser. Of course, there's the caveat. Please know if you have pets, small children in your house, that you know what's safe and what's not safe. All that information's on the internet for you to be diffusing in your home. Florida water is nice. Any kind of cologne that you want to use, you could just fill a bottle with a favorite cologne. It could be a freaking body mist from the Dollar Tree, or even Bath and Body Works. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not affiliated, don't give a shit. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be, it has to be something that when you spray it in the air, you know that you are cleansing your area, that it serves the same purpose for you in the shift in energy as incense does. If, like, incense is not appropriate for you to be lighting, or you want to be discreet. I like stuff that's herbal scented. I like to use stuff that is herbal, citrus, that kind of stuff. Any cologne will do. Any body mist will do. The connection is yours, right? It's not. It doesn't have to be Florida water. It doesn't have to be Palo Santo cologne or something like that. It could just be like tea rose, or a tea rose cologne, or it could just be like I said, I have a nice lavender body spray that I use to clear the energy in the space, in a space when it's not appropriate for me to light up incense or something like that. And then I got at the 99-cent store. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I went on a long time about that too. All right. Body creams, lotions, that kind of stuff. Again, part of your ritual can be that when you want to get into that, you want to dial into that energy, and you want to get into your sacred space, and you want to do magical work, whatever it is, you have a hand lotion that you use, and the scent and everything brings you to that place. Or you can use it for in your bathing ritual. If you're a person who likes to do a clearing and whatever, it's like you could use just regular table salt in the bathtub. Sea salt is like really kosher salt, Himalayan salt, whatever. Epsom salts. You can use that. You can have a dedicated bar of soap or a dedicated body wash for magical work. You can, in terms of jewelry, okay, some of us like to have stuff that we wear that reminds us of our connection to spirit, that connects us to our craft. And you don't have to be wearing a big ass pentagram or pentacle on a rope or something around your neck. You want it to be more discreet. It could be, maybe even a crystal is not discreet for you. It could be pretty much anything. It could be a pendant of an animal that you, whose spirit you feel a kinship to. It could be a beaded bracelet. It could be a ring. It doesn't have to overtly look witchy. To be honest, I shy away from anything that looks like it was marketed to me. So even with my my magical tools and stuff like that, I don't like shit that's branded. I don't like shit that has that has like pentacles all over it. It cheapens that symbol for me. I don't like, but that's personal to me. But also, it ties in that if you're being discreet, you can use things that, a box that doesn't have a pentacle emblazoned on it or carved into it, or in brass inlay, it's still a magical box if you're using it for magical work. That's what I'm trying to say. And for jewelry, you can I like to go thrifting for my magical jewelry. I like to find something. I like to go treasure hunting where I find something that speaks to me, and then I take it home and I cleanse it. And when you take stuff home from like a thrift store or whatever, first, if it's something that you could wash with soap and water, do that first, and then do the magical cleansing and then the charging. Clothing. I also like the idea of having clothing that's dedicated to when you're doing magical work or when you're doing spiritual work. A t-shirt that for you, right, like that you only wear, a t-shirt or sweater or a dress shirt or a shawl, a cardigan, a hoodie. It doesn't matter what it is. But an article of clothing that when you don that article of clothing, you are now in sacred mode. You are now in sacred space, no matter where you are. And I really like the idea of it just being a favorite shirt, dress, shoes, socks. It's very discreet, but it connects you right away to your magical life. Also, a favorite placemat that you use when, that for you is your sacred placemat. A pillow, if you sit on a pillow for meditation. Oh my gosh, I'm still talking. Different kinds of rituals you could do that are discreet, but you could create a lot of meaning in these rituals for yourself. A coffee or tea ritual, a ritual surrounding, for instance, your morning coffee, where you tie in a little ritual where you get ready for your day. Your morning coffee, your morning tea, your afternoon coffee, your afternoon tea, it doesn't matter. Your skin care, when you're taking care of your body, your hair care, all these things you're doing anyway can be dedicated to spiritual work, to magical work. Daily walk, exercise, you can... these also could be offerings, right, to your spirits, to your deities. Any kind of crafting that you do, any kind of art. And let me preface this by just saying briefly, you don't have to be really good at something to do it. You have to enjoy it. So, sewing, knitting, crocheting, collage, paper collage, paper mache, cooking. Okay, let me go back to art, to crafting, making stuff, woodworking, all these crafts, embroidery, cross stitch, needlepoint. All of these, you can incorporate your magical work into these crafts. And especially crafting of any kind is great for manifestation, for protection. Like when you're doing stuff, like when I'm knitting or I'm crocheting something, there's always intention that goes into the act of making the garment or the object, and then the finished product is full of magic. Alchemy, cooking. Cooking is alchemy, and kitchen witchery and stuff like that. You don't have to like to cook. You know what I mean? Even if you start your day with your coffee and you put a little cinnamon in your coffee for protection, or cinnamon's a nice one because it's nice and nice tasting for those of you who like it. But cinnamon's great for protection, for abundance. It's a pretty all around useful spice. But when you prepare your food, in my practice, food preparation is alchemy, of course, but it's also there's blessing involved. I bless the food. I thank the plants, the animals, everything that was once living that was sacrificed, so I can have this meal that I prepare for my family. That's discreet, and everybody's got to eat, right? And meditation. When you're because your external world, because the external expression of your inner spirituality is very discreet, then what I recommend is that you really channel that energy into your inner world. That energy, you can, for those of you who meditate, you can have your the place that you go in your mind. You can set that place up the way you would your external environment if you didn't have to be discreet. So an example would be that your inner world is a cottage. So if this is your thing, right? It is a cottage by the shore, and you can hear the waves, and you can smell the sea air and all that stuff, and you got your bubbling cauldron going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's really invest in your inner world. And that's a place that you carry with you everywhere you go. So it doesn't matter where you are or what the external is. When you have a rich inner world, it's a sanctuary. And it's a place for you to go. And like I said, it's always there with you. So I think that's it for my list of how to create and how to be magical and discreet at the same time. And this is like my favorite thing to talk about, because like I said, my aesthetic is that I don't want my house to look like a freaking metaphysical shop, right? Like with all the freaking crystals on display and the merchandise. I don't want my home to have tons of merchandise, or I don't want to see stuff in my sacred space that I know other people got the same thing on Etsy, or they got the same thing on at the metaphysical shop, mass-produced, halfway around the world, probably utilizing slave labor. You know what I mean? So that's why I prefer to thrift my magical tools, or use items recycled in my home. Witches sure love their jars, right? We sure love our jars and our boxes and containers and stuff like that, and little bags, and um, so I think that's about it for now. Oh, what I didn't forgot to mention, with the placemat and all that stuff. Have your special. You can have your special mug that you or glass that you drink from, and your special beverage that you drink as part of your ritual. All this stuff is so it's so easy to be discreet once you get past the notion that you need all that shit to be witchy and to be magical. All right, my friends. I think that's it for this one. So thank you so much for coming here today to watch my video. And it was really nice to visit with you. And until I see you again, wherever you are in the world, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.